Okay, so this is how I lost 100 pounds. I weighed around 250 when I started gaining the weight, and I got up to 290. Came out of high school, I was like 190, 200 pounds. I gained some weight from drinking alcohol when I was about 21. And then about 23, I became bedridden with my neurological disease. And I was on a corticosteroid, and I got up 290 pounds. And it was absolutely awful. Would not suggest it for anyone. I weigh 180 to 185 pounds now, and I plan to stay between 175 and 185 for the rest of my life. And I'm 6'2", 6'3"-ish. And I plan to stay this way. It's through mindset. It all comes down to mindset. Not seeing food as pleasurable, seeing food as something that keeps you alive. Like, you need enough food to keep you alive. You need enough protein, enough fats, and enough carbs. I mean, you don't even have to have, you can work within those things. You don't even have to have some things. And the way to get the weight off, this is super simple. All you do is you stop eating fast food, stop eating processed food, stop eating anything with a glycemic index. This is just the starting points. With a glycemic index over like 60, so stop eating white potatoes, stop eating rice, stop eating French fries, stop eating candy, chips, potato chips, stuff like that. Stop eating a ton of grease. Stop eating any bad oils that are not olive oil. And if you're cooking with olive oil, don't cook it over 360 because that turns it into a trans fat. And yeah, eat healthy, go for a walk, work out a couple days a week, and you will lose the weight. It is really that simple. I have a neurological disease. I was on a literal medication that keeps you from losing weight, and I didn't make any excuses. I'm not saying that if people can't lose weight that they're making excuses, but a lot of times they are. If you like being that weight, that's wonderful. If you actually want to lose weight, this is all essential. Like, you do not have to follow no diet. You don't have to do nothing. You have to change your habits permanently. You have to change your mindset around food, and you're not going to want to binge eat anymore. You're not going to want to overeat. You're not going to want to snack. You're not going to want to have chocolate or whatever anymore. You're going to want to eat healthy, because you're going to eat healthy, and then you're not even going to want those foods anymore. You're neurologically going to get yourself to where you only eat healthy. Standard American diets, not healthy at all. Most things in it is so dangerous, like pro-inflammatory, super bad. Bread, French fries, literally everything that you're eating at a fast food restaurant or through most processed foods is super freaking bad for you. And you have to cut it out completely. People will sit there and say, oh, whatever. If you can handle it 80, 20%, I mean, sure, do that. But why? What's the point? What is the actual point in eating a bunch of Oreos or French fries or chicken nuggets? I literally went to McDonald's. McDonald's was the only place that I had to go about like a month ago. And I was at the doctor and I couldn't leave, and I had to go. I hadn't eaten anything in like 24 hours. And I had to get something from McDonald's. It was the closest place. And they literally didn't have any grilled chicken. They had chicken nuggets. And I had to peel every single one of them and squeeze the grease out of them. And that's the worst thing I've eaten in 2 years. And I'll never even eat that again. And I only ate that because I was literally starving. And literally, like, actually starving. And none of this stuff really makes any sense when you're making excuses to eat a whole jar of Nutella. When I was growing up, I ate a whole jar of Nutella. I'd eat a whole all 3 rows of the Oreos. I'd sit there with milk and just go. And then when I turned 21, I was just drinking my life away. And then I always I trusted doctors a lot of times, so I would take medications and I wouldn't pay attention to the side effects and stuff like that, just like other people do. I mean, I would more so than other people back then even, but I trusted that this medication was going to help me. It didn't end up helping me at all with my neurological disease, but it ended up making me gain a ton of weight, making me really ill, making me pre-diabetic, nearly diabetic, and almost killed me. And it was hell to get off of. So all of these things are in a combination of a circle, and comes down to mindset. You do not need French fries. You do not need Oreos. You do not need cookies. You do not need brownies. You do not need any of this stuff. Like, you have no desire. Once you're away from this stuff for long enough, you have no desire to eat it. Like, if you brung me a batch of brownies, I will give them back to you, or I will give them to my neighbor or someone else, or give them away. But honestly, I genuinely want to throw them in the garbage because they're just trash. Like, all of this eating stuff for enjoyment and pleasure, all of this stuff hasn't been around forever for humans to do. Like, the sweetest thing that we had around was like honey at one point. Like, literally, it was honey. And then it was bread. Then bread was and it was like Ezekiel type bread. Modern bread is dangerous. Modern bread is something that you shouldn't even be eating. Even eating too much rice, like everything, like it comes down to it. You shouldn't be overeating. You should only be eating healthy. You should be eating enough vegetables. You should be eating enough lean proteins. If you're vegan, you should be eating enough plant proteins that are healthy. You should be avoiding soy. You should be avoiding seed oils, all these things. It's so unnecessary to eat any of these things. You can make excuses about the soy or whatever, but soy is, especially if you're a man, if you're a male, soy is extremely bad for you. It is super bad for you. It affects you massively, like your brain, your androgen receptors, your everything, your estrogen, androgen receptors, your balance of your hormones and everything. You have to get down to it and get your mind in the right place. Create some affirmations, get down on paper, and say, I only eat healthy. If you want to create a negative one, like a one that's the opposing end, you can say, food is not for pleasure. Food is only for nourishing my body. I mean, that isn't a negative one. That's just naming out what you're not doing, right? So naming out what you don't want. You don't want to eat food for pleasure anymore. You want to eat food for nourishing the body, for keeping you alive. You never want to eat food for enjoyment or pleasure, ever. Never. I stand by that over and over again. Like, you can ask me, like, in 100 years, you can ask me. I took some fish oil before I made this video, so I got the fish oil burps. You can ask me if I still stand by that in 100 years. I will still stand by that. Food is not meant for pleasure and enjoyment. It is meant to nourish the body and keep you alive. It is meant, none of this stuff, like if making your food highly pleasurable, no point in it. Literally. You can sit there and, enjoy your life or whatever, if food's that your thing. If you need food to enjoy your life, please be my freaking guest. But you can still enjoy healthy food. It doesn't really make any sense. The excuses that most people generally in society make, they're very backwards and they're very dangerous. And they're keeping them ill and they're keeping them obese and overweight. You can go take a Ozempic or a Adderall, or you can go use nicotine to lose weight. None of that is going to last. You can go have surgery, but why would you take the risk when you can do it naturally? It doesn't make any sense. If you absolutely have to have surgery, I understand. I really don't. But I mean, if you have to have surgery to get loose skin off of you, that's very understandable. Congratulations. But if you're getting like your stomach removed in places and you're doing weird stuff like that, you're getting bypass surgeries, don't do that. My gosh, do not do. There's no reason to actually do that. All you have to do is change your mindset. Have a great day. Love you.